everyone. Hello again to another Tuesday live. I'm happy to talk to you today about innovation. And why I chose this is because I saw this research saying that 75% of all the companies are saying that are important. Most of the companies that are asked, innovation is very important for them, but only 20% of them are actually achieving, creating that environment and giving the possibility for people to innovate. So why is that? Why are we having something that we say is so important to us, and we know logically, we're thinking that this makes sense, that if we allow people to innovate, our company will be better. And yet, we're not focusing on what it's needed to be done to create that environment. I'm going to let you think about it a little bit to see what comes up in your mind, because it's so important, and this happens in many other aspects of our life. When we say eating healthy, it's very important. Yep, we all agree. But how many and how much time we're actually going and doing something against what we say it's very important. So you see, innovation is important. Like, we also have our need to stay healthy for our body. It's pretty much the same. We know that if we are going to do the right things, our body will last us longer. In the same way, the company longevity and what do they put out in the world is going to be very much impacted by the power and the capability of what they can innovate. You can think about a few companies that actually are not any longer. They're not with us for quite some time. And they were here for a long time. And what happened, if you think about it, it was when the need of the customers, it was coming along and distracted a little bit the market, and they were not able. They were too stuck in doing things in their own way, their old way. I won't say the wrong way, the old way, and they could not see the opportunity that they have in front. Think about Kodak, how they created. Isn't that sad that they created the first digital tool that you can take pictures with, right? It was a digital camera, and yet they were the one that wanted to protect so much the film industry, because thinking that that's how they got their money, and now they're not on the market anymore. So it is very sad to see that this is happening, and it will be with any adaptation of the needs. We all kind of interconnected in a system that belonging to another system, and an ecosystem that's parts of a different system. And you know what I'm talking about. We're all influencing, and when we're doing this and we're going towards a different, a new place, we must be able to adapt to the needs of the whatever creativity things that we see that are important. And why I love about problem solving, it's for me, it's energizing. It's something that makes me want to stay more awake and provide full attention and focus on fixing certain things, just because this desire, it's connected with how am I going to produce something new, create something new, or even innovate. I hope you kind of went through the process of innovation, because it's very simple. It's nothing very complicated to it. You just look at the understanding the entire situation. You just observe first certain things. You see what is needed. I got this idea. I have this pain. I'm carrying something with me, and I'm not feeling comfortable to use it like that, right? One strap bag. And then somebody was thinking, well, if I have two straps, it's going to be easier to carry that bag. So all of those things came up because somebody was solving something that they thought they need to be solved. So for those people who don't love problems, I would say you're missing a bigger opportunity to look at the problem in a different way and say, this is an opportunity for me to be challenged, to come up with something new. or fix in a way something that hasn't been taught yet, or creates in conversations with somebody else, co-creating new things. But our mind, everybody has the capability to solve problems. It's not like you're born without this capability. No, all of us have everything that's needed to tap into this bigger mind, if you wish, that is coming up with ideas. When we see something, we already kind of get an idea that this may be needed to get our attention. So if we make the time, and please make sure that you understand this part here, if we put the focus and the attention and then make the time in that moment, and we stay with whatever that thought was that created us the opportunities to solve that, let's call it problem, we will have an innovation going on. We will have a creativity on the spot coming to us to give us that solution. Because most of the time, if you can observe the future, whenever you see that something it's not okay for you, you also come up with a solution in your mind. Your mind starts to come up, and you're thinking about what can I do to solve that. If you're cold, you go and get a blanket. But let's say you are somewhere where you don't have a blanket. What are you going to do? You're going to come up with something that makes you comfortable, which is to alleviate that pain, whatever that is, and you're going to come up with something that is going to help you stay warmer. So we are capable of innovation, but the companies that are not paying attention and gives us the number one thing, and I'm not going to go over all few reasons why companies are not creating this environment, and they don't pay attention to their people and what their capabilities are to create and innovate, is the number one reason why they're not doing that is because they don't allow this time for thinking about or solving a problem. Most of the companies that were successful on the other side, they requested teams, and they first creating few teams, like 2 or 3 people that were emotionally tied to this problem solution of it, and let them organize themselves, create the time and the environment that they needed to make time to solve that problem. So that's the number one issue. If you think about, if you are in an environment and your boss is giving you lots of tasks, then you don't have space in your brain, white space, to kind of stay and think, what is that I can do better? So even the continuous improvement part, which is based on how can we keep things better, and also the innovation piece, which requires a little bit more intense white space from us. If we don't get that, then we're not going to see results. So what's some of the things that you could do if you are in an environment where you find yourself that you love to do this problem solving, you love to collaborate with others, you pretty much have all those characteristics that a person, a big innovator maybe, you're curious, you ask questions. See how in some meetings we're getting annoyed by someone who keeps asking questions, instead of appreciating that somebody is curious, because that person has the threat of characteristics that we needed to solve a problem, or to get them what they need when they ask questions, because they may come back and they may give us exactly what we need to fix whatever we're talking about, or make it better, even if we don't need to fix anything. So what if those questions, what if, or what else can be done, or how much of what we have can we think about, how many ways in which we can fix a problem, or we can create a solution. Any of those kind of questions that are coming along from someone, you want to invite them. You don't want to shut them off. And I know that sometimes we may be in a situation where we're very stressed because it has a time constraint or something pretty bad happened. And while you're stressing yourself, you're not creating a better solution, and not faster and not better. What you could do, the performance of our brain, it's actually going to be improved if we care less about what we think and our mind is taking us, fear, anything like that. So if we can just ignore that and stay with the open mind, I know I have this problem, I'm going to just solve it, it's going to be fun, I have to do it from the positive side of it, you will get much better results and much faster. And even if it's not a long-term fix, even if it feels like it's a band-aid, at least you solve, you put the fire down, and then you come back with a team that now have seen what happened, have seen the impact, they get the magnitude of the problem that could happen, and now you have time to stay around the table and come up with better ideas and how to fix or how to better create something new. So companies that are not creating this environment, you will, if you're waiting for HR or for your boss to create this for you, you may never get it. So I would highly advise you, because there are companies who have, I've been in one where they had kind of like an idea contest. At least they kind of allow people to work on their own projects that can definitely impact the business that they were in. And they were giving them time and to prepare it. They had like a presentation, kind of a contest, fun way of doing it. And then the best idea kind of took priority, and it was then given effort, time, people, and everything else, that resources that are needed to be implemented. So when you think about the entire process, because I started to tell you about the process, right? You first understand what's happening, and then you create a prototype, and then you look at how that works or not, and then you continue to test that. And it's a cycle that continues. It's a continuous loop. It never ends. In a continuous improvement part, we're never going to end that cycle. We still check on it. We still see if it's going to meet the needs, and then we continue with it. So please do not think that you are not innovative. Don't think that you're not creative. The creativity and innovations are connected, but what sparks them, what makes them come alive will be so-called problems, or solving those problems, or maybe opportunities that others are looking at and say, oh, we have an opportunity here because somebody needs something and it's in pain. We have a solution. How can we come up with a solution to put it together and fix that pain? And if you look at those opportunities, instead of dragging yourself in how bad it is because it happened, then you're not going to come up with the right ideas and the right resources to innovate. I hope you are in a place where it's going to make sure that appreciates this effort, because this effort is what's going to keep the businesses alive. It's going to make the clients, customers, whatever you have, whatever your case is, happier and coming back to you for more of what you can do for them. So it is absolutely against business development if you're just here, we don't have time for this, we just have to create things. And I know some other companies, they may have an R&D or kind of department specialized on that. That's not enough, because most of the ideas are coming from people who are actually in the field, and they are the ones who are exercising, implementing daily activities. And if you don't stop to ask them what they have seen that is a possibility, what happened, how easy it becomes for them to do whatever they need to, if not, what exactly is that we can do to fix that, to make it even better, then we're not going to progress, and people are going to be not engaged, sluggish, and they're not going to participate anymore. So sharing your knowledge with one another, it happens much easier and better when you have a problem to solve, or when you're inviting them to collaborate on a project that will co-create on a project that's going to make an impact, whatever that impact is. It can have a global impact, or it can be just a problem in your department. Short, small group, doesn't matter for how long you're going to use that. If you give your time to fix it, you're going to see how energized you're going to come out of that experience. And at that moment, you will want more. And even if you think that you are not the type of coming with solutions, please stay and observe. Be part of the team where you are going to give your input and how that feels when somebody created. Be part of the testing process if you don't necessarily want to be part of how we come up with ideas. You're going to be surprised that when you're going to participate in some of those discussions, you are going to see how your mind is actually wired to come up with probably one of the best insight for them. That's why just a group of people who are looking at how can we innovate things, it's not sufficient if they don't tap into the collective knowledge of the entire organization. Okay, if you need any help, if you need to talk about this, if you like to explore ways and how many of those 5 things that I know companies can do better, except to create this environment. And if you think you are in a place where your immediate supervisor can hear you, I would be so happy to have a conversation to help you pose back to them what is that you could create and how can you best impact. And just to say that it's very important if you take this responsibility and put it back to your company in the right way so they can hear you. It's because after that, that's how you can create opportunities for your not only advancement and make more money. I'm talking about impact and changing what you're doing every day. So you could just navigate and create in your organization that role that is going to make you feel more happy and want to be more impactful in the role that you're choosing to kind of design for yourself, than just stay somewhere where somebody's just giving you directions on how to do certain things and just keep doing it without providing any insight or any feedback. So I hope this was useful and look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. And please keep the conversation open. Thank you. See you soon.